Okay, this is my first used game review, and I've been wanting to do this. Everyone out there has, game reviews for new stuff and classic retro stuff, but there's a lot of people that buy games used because, either they like to wait to see if a game is actually good or not, see what the reputation is, or they just don't have, the cash on hand. It's hard to get $60 every week. So a lot of people maybe they'll buy one, like me, one new game a month and then one or two used games. So I'm going to do reviews based solely on a game being bought used. In other words, we're not going to be as concerned with graphics and does it bring anything new to the table, because I'm basically setting any my reviews at games that are bought now $20 and below. So a lot of the innovative stuff and all that, it might not be as relevant. And plus, you're only spending $10 to $20, so certain things it can be mediocre but still be worth your effort. And for my very first one, we're going to be doing Frontlines Fuel of War, or Fuels of War. I just picked this up a little while ago, and for $10 at GameStop, and this is definitely worth it. Definitely, I recommend picking this up if you're looking to buy something new. You want a military shooter. The big appeal of this one is the online community. Even though this has been out for a while, it still has a very active online community. You can still find big matches with 16 players very easily. It's got a healthy online community. They're always on. I picked up a lot of games, and most importantly, the way this game is structured, you can go and join in pretty much any game, and you're not going to be that new guy that's never going to be able to catch up to everybody else. It's not going to be like StarCraft, where if you're just starting to play StarCraft 1 now, and you try to play like an open match online, you're just going to get completely destroyed, and you're never going to get a chance to learn. Not this game. This game it's friendly enough that you can play it, or play with people that have been playing it for a year. And they'll be a little better than you at first, but you'll quickly be able to match up and be on about equal grounds. Single player campaign, it's short, and it basically just trains you to get familiar with everything and tries to set up a story, but the story is mostly in the background. And actually, the story is somewhat laughable if you've if you study resources at all and politics. It's kind of silly, but then again, most video game plots are. We're down to this. There's only a few things of oil left, and instead of just spamming nuclear reactors everywhere to replace oil or solar plants and such, we're gonna have a massive war between an alliance of China and Russia and the United States and Europe. Although the game itself, it really just shows Russians and Americans and then one level with Chinese. I suppose they were planning to expand it in a sequel, but I haven't seen any news on a new one coming out. As for the gameplay, you're basically choosing different classes. Your standard classes, there's a sniper, heavy gun, assault, close quarters, anti-vehicle. More interesting though, there's those basic classes, and then there's subspecializations. You can have a drone expert, engineer, and so on. So there's a lot of variety of what type of class you're going to play. I personally am loving the drone expert, and it's very fun. This is surprising. You get basically, when you get deployed, you can then set up, if you can find like a nice little safe notch or hidden somewhere, pull out some drones and kind of wreak havoc from a safe distance. This is especially good on the more localized maps, which I should also get into. They have a good variety of maps. Not only do they have massive battle maps where you can have infantry, light vehicles, tanks, helicopters, and fighter jets. Although I do have to say the fighter controls are a little sloppy. A lot of times you're just going to wind up crashing yourself as soon as you launch. But once you get a hang of them, they can be somewhat effective. But not only have those big maps, You have very tight quarters. There's basically only infantry maps. And those are ones that's really fun to be a drone expert on. People will really hate you if you can find a nice hiding spot to keep you safe and just wreak havoc on drones or with drones. It's beautiful. But it's very good. And there's a lot of maps in between. There's a lot of these games will have the big maps and the small maps, but they don't have a nice progression. And this one does. It has maps that will have this. You can use a few light vehicles and a few maps that are a little bit bigger. You can have some heavier vehicles and maybe one or two attack helicopters. But there's a good variety of settings. If you do pick this up, I do recommend playing through the single-player campaign first. It'll get you very familiar with everything. It does a very good job of teaching you how to play each class, how to use the vehicles. Storyline's fairly forgetful, and it should only take you about a day or two, maybe 3 of average playing time. I'm not going by they normally say 10 hours of gameplay or whatever. I'm not going by that because people variety, but it took me about 3 days playing it very passively, and I picked up another game when I bought this, so I was dividing my time between 2 games, and I still beat it in 3 days with a whole lot of other stuff going on. So it's rather short, but you're really buying this one for the multiplayer experience. So if you're a multiplayer first-person shooter fan, this is the one you want to pick up used. If you just like playing first-person shooters by yourself, for $10 you can probably still get some satisfaction out of this one. It'll suffice you, or not suffice, but it'll be sufficient for you to hold on until something nice or bigger comes out. But if you're looking for a multiplayer experience, this is definitely one to pick up. It's got an active community. It's not one of those used games where you pick up and it has a completely dead community. Graphics are par for the course. They're average. They're not going to stand out and go woo. They are somewhat lacking in detail, but not too bad. And again, you're only paying $10 for it, so you're probably not caring too much about the graphics. Gameplay, as I said before, fast to pick up and learn. So for a used game, pick this one up if you're looking for it. If you're just looking for a game, they're fairly easy to find in most stores. And that's pretty much it. So signing off for episode 1 of the used game review.